All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between Lubber and GodFather going up against Atheist and AJK. Lubber, Lubber and GodFather spawning as the blue and teal players over here at, what I will call the west side of the map. West side representing this is Knollwood, and there are 6 starting locations, so the players will be doing a little bit of scouting. Meanwhile, red players, I am using ally colors in this match to be able to get a good insight and to be able to track all the action, as it is going to be a human and a night elf. Alright, human and night elf going up against double undead. Strategies should be very similar. We've seen Lubber and GodFather team up in the past, and they usually don't go for that double Death Knight strategy straight out of the gates. Usually Death Knight is grabbed as the second hero for one of the players, while another player opens up with the Death Knight. We'll see if this is going to be the strategy here. I think this game was taken from WarCraft, Lovers Season 2. It is a 2v2 matchup, and 2v2s was one of my favorite things about, or just multiplayer was just one of the favorite things about Warcraft 3, doing random 2s, random 3s, before Blizzard decided to upgrade the experience by having arranged teams go also up against, random teams, which felt a little bit odd and, did not feel good whatsoever. But that's my personal experience on what I enjoyed about Warcraft 3. Something that I played casually and enjoyed. It was actually started to become really bad though once I would do a pickup game, and it took me 30 minutes to find a game where my player, or 20 minutes to find a game where the players didn't drop. And then when I finally did find a game where the players, my allies didn't drop after 5 minutes, I ended up going up against an arranged team where one of the players was quote-unquote selling his skills for wins, something like you would do on Fiverr. So yeah, unfortunately not always the best of times, as we're looking at the Archmage and Footman coming in from Atheist and dropping a water elemental to try and clear out this creep camp. This will be a relatively fast clear. Militia will be making their way over. Keeper of the Grove will be coming in, and that's actually a questionable move here, as the Keeper of the Grove is actually going to deny level 2 to the Archmage. Level 2 on the Archmage is incredibly important, as the Archmage would get Brilliance Aura, and that would also benefit that Keeper of the Grove. Back on the other side, we are looking at a Dreadlord and a Death Knight, a nasty 1-2 combination. Dreadlord ensuring easy surrounds. Dreadlord also being able to be solo hero allows you to get a little bit of an experience bonus, while also accessing that summoning that Infernal, that giant meter falling from the sky, not stunning as much or as long as a level 2 stomp, but that is a discussion for another time. Alright, Null Assassin coming back across here. Rockfall, I'm going to go ahead and engage double water elemental. This should give level 2, or clearing of this creep camp should give level 2 to both the Archmage and that Keeper of the Grove, as we see a Circuit of Nobility now drop. Alright, Null Assassin will get finished off here. Meanwhile, let's take a look at what GodFather is doing. He's clearing out this creep camp relatively fast as well. He's going to start haunting this gold mine, and both players are going to be set up on 2 bases. Death Knight wandering around. He wants to get to level 3. He looks like he should be able to do exactly that as well, clearing out this last Null Brute. Coming back across here, a couple of skeletal minions just doing a little bit of a walk on by, and you're going to see, a little bit, an Ancient of War perhaps be able to get some damage. Arcane Tower should be up momentarily, and this skeletal minion should not be able to do much of anything. More skeletal minions are making their way over. There is not going to be any militia. I hope there's an Infernal coming. Yeah, Infernals are very, very fun to watch. Arcane Tower now going to start feed, or doing some bonus damage back to that units there, as we're looking at a possible engagement. Oh wow, a nice surround onto that Forest Troll Berserker. But meanwhile, the red team has decided to clear out the Fountain of Mana. There is an entangle onto that Keeper of the Grove, and bonus mana there. Keeper of the Grove now trying to back away. We're going to take a look at a large amount of damage on the Archmage, and the Keeper of the Grove with Brilliance Aura, and also that Fountain of Mana will be able to just constantly cast all of their things pretty fast. Fighting at a Fountain of Health, always very, very difficult, as we're going to see a potential surround onto that Death Knight. Carrion Swarm ripping through many of those units. Death Knight may have a little bit of a problem. A lot of units going to end up falling. Keeper of the Grove does Wow. Keeper of the Grove does not finish off that Death Knight. Death Knight able to use the Scroll of Town Portal to get away. Keeper of the Grove, does it have enough mana in the bank for another Entangle? It does not. Or maybe the cooldowns, perhaps, as the Nerubian Tower now going to start to engage here to try and do a little bit of fighting. One Force of Nature unable to engage, well, finally positioning itself once more as this Ziggurat, the second Nerubian Tower, may get cancelled before it is ready to go. Death Knight is sitting at level 2 using a Ritual Dagger to try and stay alive. The choice to go after the Death Knight, a very, very important one, as the Archmage wants to get an attack off onto that Death Knight to prevent any additional healing. However, in that time, well, the Keeper of the Grove ended up getting surrounded as well, and that is just going to be a tough spot to be in, as the units are going to try and engage once more. Keeper of the Grove does leave the party, meaning that the Archmage may have to leave the party as well. He is actually overwhelmed, absolutely, as the Death Knight now looking to back up once more. Double Water Elemental sitting at the level 2 variety, as we're going to see a Death Coil, well, finish off that unit there. Death Knight finishing off the Footman as the Death Knight down to 53 hit points. Oh, Archmage shows up, one more Fireball, and is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. Archmage comes in with the sneak attack from nowhere, sacrificing one Water Elemental, another Water Elemental, dying to timed life. Beautifully played by Atheist and AJK. Alright, Keeper of the Grove. What is he going to do next? Perhaps go after these creep camps here and get to level 3. Archers showing a bit of uphill damage once more. The Gnolls and Gnoll Brutes will get finished off, but nicely played, nicely done, as we're going to look at AJK picking up that Ring of Protection +3, now up to 7 armor. Now, what are our strategies showing? We are teching the Town Hall. Tech to tier 2 is already done for one side. GodFather, well, almost halfway there as well. Meanwhile, we are looking at Tree of Ages already there. I don't see any additional heroes. Ents clearing through the path in the back. And all of a sudden, GodFather in some serious trouble with this expansion. Clearing the trees from the back. Keeper of the Grove able to, well, just open up this positioning here with really no problem whatsoever. And this is going to be a downside there. A brilliant move, clearing up the trees. And this really goes to show you that this particular map isn't altogether that balanced. If you think about it, if you establish this gold mine here, this gold mine is much easier to protect, as its back is not exposed actually towards the center. The other two do have their backs exposed, so it makes sense to either go for the Keeper of the Grove to clear out trees, or perhaps even the Blood Mage for a Flame Strike to clear out those trees and do exactly that. Archmage still sitting at level 3. It looks as though he is at tier 2, and we are getting up a Mountain King. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove now going to be fighting alongside a Panda, and that Panda will be getting up to level 2. That's why I like to put some indestructible doodads in such positions. Yeah, that might actually, or some sort of high ground ridge right there, right? Just a high ground ridge that slopes up at the very end, just to make it so that you cannot get into that position. But Xander Dorn, you got to remember, Knollwood has been part of the map pool. It feels like ever since the beginning. It might actually be like a 15-year-old map, all right? So if it's a 15-year-old or older than 15, if it is that old, that was perhaps before they realized all the things that you could do and why trees were so important and all of that. So I'm sure people learn lessons over time. All right, there goes a Keeper of the Grove. There's an Entangle. Yeah, I think, Knollwood came with Reign of Chaos, so it might be part of 2003, as we see that. Is it 2002? Is it 18-year-old map? Oh my goodness, I feel old. Wow. Anyways, Mountain King, Keeper of the Grove now able to make its way down in here as well. Meanwhile, Dreadlord is getting, well, a good amount of mana and fighting off over here. Solo Dreadlord right now has to be very careful, cannot stick around very much, as we see a Tomb of Relics being placed down as some sort of cautionary building to try and offer a bit of protection. All right, here we go. In comes that engagement. Panda, a Death Coil, Frost Nova onto a Footman. Footman could easily get taken down. A Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now taking large amounts of damage as Footman now need to back away. All right, there goes a Frost Nova. They're absolutely freezing that Footman in its tracks. Meanwhile, Panda continuing to fight back across over here. Mountain King going to go ahead and engage as a low hit point Footman throws up a defend to try and reflect back much of that damage. However, the Lich and that Death Knight still able to deal large amounts of damage pretty easily right there as the Crypt Fiends are backing up slowly and steadily. Death Knight, Lich continuing to battle it through. And we're looking at the Mountain King now making its way in. There goes a Stormbolt onto that Crypt Fiend to finish it off. But who's actually coming out ahead right now? That is the question to be had. As now a swarm of ghouls going to be coming in from the back. Mountain King in serious trouble. Scroll of Town Portal only way that... Wow, how did he break a 17-unit surround? I guess it wasn't really a surround if there was enough room for that Mountain King to maneuver. The like Infernal, but Solo Dreadlord is pretty ineffective for a good while. Might cost Undead the team. Well, Solo Dreadlord early portion of the game did get off a lot of sleeps and caused a lot of early pressure for Atheist and AJK. However, you are right now as that it feels like the Infernal is or the Dreadlord isn't doing enough. Also, the Dreadlord isn't gaining experience as quickly as he would like, as he's constantly being forced to try and just defend expansions. We are looking at GodFather now setting up a second expansion off over here, but it is going to be spotted by AJK's one lone wisp. Meanwhile, a battle of that fountain of health. Many people want to drink from the waters as GodFather now going to be going into that Necro wagon strategy. All right, these poor units Stormbolt onto the Necromancer. One Necromancer, didn't get the memo. Hey, there might be an army around that bush right there. As we're going to see a battle now rage on through. Dreadlord fighting next to a large fountain of health, and this might be a problem. If the Dreadlord just gets continual mana, he should be able to just start whipping through many of these units here. And now with the Lich and also the Dreadlord with their backs to that fountain of mana, Frost Novas and Carrion Swarms should be, very, very plentiful as we see the Panda get melted into its tracks. All right, Holy Light trying to save right there. Obsidian Statues, where are the heals? There goes another Carrion Swarm right there, as we are looking at more damage coming back through. All right, Druid of the Claw low on hit points. It gets taken down, and we are now going into a GodFather's Beetle. There goes a quick Impale. A whole bunch of units were absolutely low on life, but they were able to escape out. All right. Lubber and GodFather always enjoying that 2v2 battle here. Death Knight, Lich, Crypt Lord. And it really may be the fountain of mana that is going to be the saving grace for the undead. You saw that fight there. The Lich, the Crypt Lord, the Death Knight, and the Dreadlord all able to continually cast their high mana spells and essentially just destroy an army that went a little bit too wide. A lot of footmen were lost, and we are now transitioning into knights though, and we are also trying to get up some mortar teams, as the mortar teams are going to be very important at dealing damage and making the battlefield larger. That is something to consider in 2v2 matchups. Expanding the size of the battlefield. If you have 160 supply army, but they are all melee, obviously some of those units will be dancing around as opposed to actually being able to deal damage. One of the downsides of this particular Necro Wagon strategy is that those skeletons, that you do end up going wide, but going wide with skeletons, they are easily taken out, and they also don't deal that much damage. It's almost like damage per square foot type of strategy, and it doesn't really necessarily work out here. Are we going to perhaps see an Impale be used, as all of a sudden those peasants now need to be backed away? All right, what is going to go down here? Lich could actually do a little bit of sight. However, the guard towers are not affected by that swarm. It is not the same as Shockwave. It does not work in the same way at all, as a little bit of damage now being brought back over. All right, Dreadlord spots, hey, you know what? All of this is not here. And GodFather and Lubber basically saying, you know what? I can return the favor. If you're going to harass me from the center portion of the map, I can do the same thing too. All right, Ziggurat's Tomb of Relics being placed down, and pretty much all the gold mines except for one are currently being mined from, or will be mined from. Yeah, all of the gold mines except for one are currently being mined from. Some early pressure now coming back through. Knights are going to be trying to engage. Knights do not have Sundering Blades as of yet. I don't see that many Crypt Fiends. Well, actually, never mind. I see plenty of Crypt Fiends. But will they be able to get to those targets, as the Necromancers are going to be, well, trying to pop up skeletons very quickly. All right, great idea to take out the trees. There goes a couple of peasants right there. You can see their corpses are already down. Destroyers now looking to back up as the main red army heading back off to the north here. There is Ziggurats in position, and this necropolis, is it going to actually get pressured here? Are we going to get some repairs? There's Blizzard onto the trio of Ziggurats, and this necropolis could get taken down before, well, it is able to get a Scroll of Town portal back. No unsummoning at all, and this expansion is pretty much now shut down. All right, trading of the expansions may be the strategy here, as we're looking at the Carrion Swarm going to be finishing off many of those units right there. There it goes. Damage being done. No Disease Cloud. There goes a Frost Nova, as many of those units are now simply just falling over. All right, Meat Wagons firing from the cover of safety. Meanwhile, Mortar Team's Wisp now being brought back over. Mountain Giants now making their way through, and this is going to turn into an absolute bloodbath here in just a moment. Flying Machines making their way across the map as well. Were previously named gyrocopters, but, well, let's not get into that. Dryads, Mountain Giants, and Mortar Teams going to be pushing through. GodFather back across here. This expansion, well, pretty much in trouble, as we're looking at, well, a Mortar Team trying to rally to the rest of their group and actually taking down these trees. A little bit of a downside here, as we're looking at the Nerubian Towers getting in some slow. Destroyers are in position. Holy Light going to finish off a couple of those Necromancers, as, well, we do see Orb of Fire, I believe, on that Archmage, preventing any easy heals. Knights are getting into position as well, and now the Archmage, well, being forced to use Scroll of Town Portal to head back out, but the gold mine was already taken out. 2 gold mines lost compared to 1, as these, well, the haunted gold mine is still operational, but there are no acolytes there. GodFather may be trying to set up additional bases. Meanwhile, well, it looks like Lubber wants to get part or in on some of this action, and will be trying to put in a little bit of gold mining here. All right, in comes the skeletal minions, are going to be able to join in on the fight. Here we go. Destroyers are in position. They want to go after some of those guard towers. Blizzard going to rain down onto those meat wagons. I've called it. There it goes. There's some major damage right there. Units are just trying to make their way through, and once more, all of this narrow, making it very difficult for those units to get around where they need to go. Blizzard being used to go after some skeletal minions, not exactly what you want to see. Death Coil onto the Archmage. The Destroyers could have perhaps been able to deal actually a little bit of damage onto those units, as the Destroyers, well, need to find a way to get healed up. No Obsidian statues that I see. Carrion Swarm ripping through again, as we're looking at a lone peasant making their way off to the north. Yeah, that Blizzard extremely strong right there. That Blizzard effective at doing a lot of damage and changing the course of the game. More effective than some other Blizzards I know at making Warcraft 3 as the... No, didn't want to go there. Didn't really mean that. Skeletal mages and minions now pushing through again. Alright, Knights now making putting in once more. Blizzard doing terrible damage in Warcraft 3 right now, as the Knights are now pushing their way in again. And, well, we'll see what's going to be happening. Mountain King now pushing their way through, and fighting in these narrow corridors is absolutely strange. As here we go, the skeletal mages, well, finally in a position where they can deal a large amount of damage. Blizzard, a Breath of Fire, a perfect counter to all of these skeletal minions and mages, as we see this massive battle on the screen here. All right, north versus south, both sides trying to get into position, and you're going to see all of these skeletal mages constantly getting dispelled as the mortar teams want to put pressure and start finishing off these necromancers. What's interesting is that the mortar teams, if they kill units, well, no corpses are going to be remaining, and that is exactly what you want to do when you are going up against the necromancers there. All right, yeah, Fellhound was there temporarily. Brewmaster currently in trouble. He's trying to back away. He will be able to do exactly that. Carrion Swarm doesn't hit him, as he is currently getting healed back up. All right, this massive battle on both sides. AoE damage. Death Knight is going to get taken down. Death Knight of Lubber falls, as, well, things are going to go from bad to worse. The Crypt Lord is sitting at level 3. Lich is going to be in trouble. Lich falls as well, as Lich, no way to get healed here. All right, in comes the Dreadlord. Dreadlord is going to be able to do anything, trying to finish off some more units. There goes another Knight. But, well, is this Fountain of Mana going to be enough to help here, as the obsidian statue is getting up some. No, it is not benefiting from the fountain of mana. As you may recall, mechanical units do not benefit from fountains. Normally, you think of that in terms of, well, siege engines, catapults, demolishers, when using fountains of health. But the same is true for fountains of mana and obsidian statues. All right. Dreadlord is in fact almost at level 6. Can't even see the Dreadlord right now since he is currently shadow melded. Meanwhile, Archmage ready to go. And a little bit of transfer of gold. Lich and Death Knight now joining in on the fight. Are they accidentally going to get transferred into position? Is Dreadlord? Oh, no, that's the Crypt Lord. Where is that Dreadlord? Dreadlord is in fact level 6. So Dreadlord did get to level 6, trying to go after some of these peasants now. So the Dreadlord will be able to, well, summon down an Infernal. And that Dreadlord summoning down Infernals with a major stun, that is going to be a follow-up stun right there. Meanwhile, sleep onto the Mountain Giant. Is that Mountain Giant going to fall asleep? And here you go, Mountain Giant trying to get away. Are we going to see the Dreadlord summon down an Infernal across all of those units? Or perhaps just onto the mortar teams in the back? Lich completely just absolutely blasted away right there in an instant, as the Death Knight now trying to retreat back. All right, in comes all of the Skeletal Mages, one more. Blizzard now raining down to try and deal damage here. There goes the Infernals straight up onto the mortar teams in the back, and that was a key clutch play, finishing off many of those mortar teams and much of the damage. However, the Mountain Giants were able to break through the line, and well, so much damage coming back across here. We are looking at all the pushing, and now Fountain of Mana is actually benefiting both sides once more, as the Spirit Towers are also gaining in or doing a little bit of damage too. All right, Blizzard is just absolutely destroying everything here, as the map is just clearing up all of these undead units. Skeletal Mages have trapped the Panda into the corner. We're looking at a 25 hit point Mountain Giant. Is it going to get take out? Yes, it will, as we are still seeing, well, Breath of Fire finishing off more units again. All right, Anti-Magic Shell being very effective. There goes an Impale. Death Coil, Frost. Oh, wow. That Keeper of the Grove able to escape at 36 hit points. Death Knight able to escape at 145 after it got a little bit of a heal. I think a Scroll of Healing was used. It was much, much lower, as the units are still ready to fight and engage. Death Knight purposely trying to stay in the back. There goes an Impale. Staff of Sanctuary saves that one Knight, though, as it was going to get taken out. All right, Infernal coming on inside, ready to deal some damage, perhaps just take down some of these guard towers. Peasants are trying to walk back once more. We are getting in some, well, mana regeneration, as the obsidian statues really need to be brought back out onto the field and then provide a bit of healing. A lot of gold being transferred between the two. Undead team looks like they are winning the overall expansion race right now, as it is, what, 4 bases to 5. Straight up King of the Hill game at the Fountain of Mana. Whoever holds this Fountain of Mana has a major advantage. I am surprised, though, that we don't see any priests coming in from the human army. Without priests, the longevity of the human army drastically drops off. Also, the Archmage would already be providing so much mana with that Brilliance aura to the entire priest army that they wouldn't really be low on hit points. Instead, they're just using Staff of Sanctuary to constantly save their units, and as effective as that is, it doesn't keep the units alive or in the battle for very, very long. All right, Stormbolt onto a Banshee. Banshee going to easily get taken out, but there's an Impale across multiple units here. Are we going to see a Carry-On Swarm or Frost Nova? Nothing of that sort, as a Breath of Fire now comes across. Chimera is now in the air trying to go after perhaps some of those meat wagons. Units are going to try to reposition again, as we see the Crypt Lord in that front line position with, what, almost 9 armor, trying to fight back here. All right, Archmage just raining down massive blizzards, as the blizzards are just destroying and dismantling everything in the back once again. Chimera is going after perhaps some important targets, as they want to go after those meat wagons, but going after the skeletal mages first. All right, so many low hit point knights here. This could actually be very, very problematic. Cryptlord could get taken down now to 99 hit points, and it's able to escape after, well, impaling many of those units first. Obsidian statues living up to their hype, as the Panda falls at level 4. Still battling it through. Chimera is currently asleep at the wheel. Keeper of the Grove trying to back away. No finishing off of that last unit there as 2 knights get taken down from a single carry-on swarm. And the Dreadlord, with pretty much infinite mana because of the Fountain of Health, is starting to become the MVP of this match with the sheer amount of damage he is doing across all of these units. This gold mine expansion has 16,000 gold left compared to 18,000 gold here. And, well, I guess he's still been mining much more effectively. Meanwhile, rock golems and granite golems have been trying to disrupt all of this here and, well, constantly getting engaged, and these buildings are just getting damaged. So a little bit of an issue not clearing out your own red creep camps, but you cannot focus on that right now. All right, all of those granite golems now making their way back down. Nope, gonna head back up. Apparently they can't decide whether or not they like that building or not. Acolytes should be brought back over. You want to repair Banshee Mastery Training for possession, and it could end up getting lost. Acolytes are done mining here. Is the golems going to go back? Yes, they are. And, well, talk about losing a building to silly circumstances. It's going to end up getting taken down because that granite golem doesn't like it. All right, coming back across here. Major battle coming down. Death Knight going to easily get finished off as we see the undead armies ready to push on inside. Meanwhile, Mass Teleport going to go ahead and shut down another expansion off on the other side here. Blizzard raining down. These buildings will all get finished off. Who is going to be able to finish off who faster? That is the question, as the Archmage with, well, Mass Teleport able to move his army quickly and freely all across the map. Coming back ever so much, the ever so iconic rock golems. Yep. And, well, undead now still making their way over. We are looking, well, no more gold mines in the main bases, and pretty much no matter what the minimap says, as the meat wagons are now going after that castle to try and finish things off. All right, the Godfather's an army. You can you see the meat wagons have so many corpses inside. They could be able to generate instantaneously a very large army, but in comes the chimeras, who also have, well, very scary siege damage attacks. All right, these siege damage attacks could finish off these buildings in no time. And that's exactly what we're seeing here, as the main expansion outside of the base is going to get pressured down and destroyed. All right, one Necromancer trying to finish off some of these chimeras. It's just not going to work out, as the Keeper of the Grove does get to level 6 and now has access to Tranquility. And Chimera needs to make its way through. This expansion could easily get taken down. What happened here? Dreadlord may have Scroll of Town Portal between, well, a Ziggurat and a Haunted Gold Mine, pretty much getting stuck in position as the units, well, all Scroll of Town Portal away. Mass Teleport now going after this Haunted Gold Mine here. Acolytes trying to save here, but will it be able to take down that last Acolyte? No, it will not. And, well, one knight didn't know that it needed to leave, and it's going to get taken out as well. All right, Mass Teleport in multiple locations. Important, well, trying to set up additional necropolises for some easy Scrolls of Town Portal, perhaps. And in this expansion, pretty much pretty bone dry at this stage in the game. A new Haunted Gold Mine trying to be established here, and mining is just gonna be very difficult. It's going to come down to the next couple of battles. Who's going to be able to really pull ahead? Who can deal more damage to their opponent while protecting their own assets? And it's starting to look like Red is in trouble. The Red no longer has any mining going on. Meanwhile, Undead has at least one mining base going on, with a second gold mine trying to be brought into position. All right, or is it 3? No, they have 2 gold mines going on, with the third one trying to be added. Meanwhile, center fight now going down. In comes, well, the Teleport Inferno now coming. Some of those units could easily finish off some of those meat wagons, perhaps, but the skeletal mages, 13 to 16 damage. That is rather large, as we're looking at Tranquility being used, and a Druid of the Claw gets a Holy Light for good measure as well. Scroll of Town Portal now coming back across as well. The Chimera is not joining in, and all of a sudden the Undead army shows up right in time to absolutely destroy much of the units inside here. All right, finally getting restabilized here. Dreadlord is in position to, well, still getting large amounts of mana, perhaps going to be able to use use another carry-on swarm as both the Keeper of the Grove and the Archmage forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal, and the mounting, well, all of those units teleporting just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Holy Light will be needed. Or are we going to see an Impale from the Crypt Lord? No, we are not. No mana, and also the Archmage, Paladin, and Mountain King trying to back up. More damage. Crypt Lord could actually get Storm Bolted once more. He does. There's a Death Coil. Is it going to be enough to keep him around? And it looks as though, wow, that Crypt Lord does end up getting a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability to stay alive. Keeper of the Grove is still in that front line. More teleport coming on in. More Knights actually falling at the hands of their master's own Archmage as the Mountain King Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight could end up getting taken down. It does. All right. Death Knight now taken out. Wisps trying to haunt or entangle this gold mine here as well. Keeper of the Grove does have Tranquility and will need lots of it in order to, well, stick around and be able to keep all of these units alive. Archmage and Paladin needs a bit of healing. Paladin gonna perhaps go and drink from those Moonwells, heal up, and now also be able to provide support back home. All right. So far, what is going down here? It looks like the Tree of Eternity is going to be able to be repaired right now. Dreadlord is going to make its way over, and we could see all of those wisps completely, well, dying in a moment's notice. They were not in the gold mine and were taken out. Dreadlord just drinking from that fountain of mana, ready to go back at it once more. All right. Building necropolises for, well, Scrolls of Town Portal and Blight, and being able to get back to that fountain of mana and, well, getting mana back into all of their heroes. That is absolutely key. Tree of Eternity now going to get taken down finally, so there is really no more mining for the red team at all. This may actually be the end of it here, as there is still, well, one base mining, well, kind of a base mining off to the north. Everywhere else is, well, under construction or completely mined out. Army sizes. Well, no easy way to see what the overall army sizes are at all. My apologies, what's 53 and 66 for one side. No easy way to see what the red armies are. As I click on their buildings, I don't see any information, and there's no observers in this match. All right, Ed's being brought over to try and shut down the necropolis. We're going to see a small engagement in the center. Well, red needs to find a way to really start pulling out ahead. They've been trying to trade efficiently, and how much damage can really be done? The Knights, perhaps if they had Sundering Blades, could have helped take down more of those Crypt Fiends earlier, as we are now transitioning into Frostworms. Undead now going up to Frostworms. And curious as it is, well, we are looking, Lubber does not have a level 6 hero yet. He has 3 level 5 heroes. Very, very scary indeed. But still no level 6 hero going up against a level 6 Archmage and a level 6 Keeper of the Grove. The Paladin and Mountain King also nearby. Well, they're ready to get to level 6, but the Paladin's Resurrection will fall extremely flat, especially considering that you are going to be going up against, well, going up against Necromancers who are going to be using those corpses. Keeper of the Grove in serious trouble. What's going to happen here? Is it going to get a Staff of Preservation? No, it is just going to get absolutely blasted. And that Dreadlord with the dreaded sleep doing so much damage. And, well, being able to pick off units with ease. Right, this expansion off to the north will get shut down once more. It looks like, yep, that's pretty much all that red really has left in the tank. Constantly trying to shut down expansions, but unable to do very much. Not quite sure why you would cast Blizzard when you on one building when you can hit 2 and also get that sacrificial pit in there as well. Back off to the north here, this expansion will get shut down. Meanwhile, well, main bases are going to have some problem. Mountain Giant going to get finished off very quick, even with medium armor. Going up against all that magic damage, there simply just is too much to deal with as the Death Knight gets to level 6. Death Knight at level 6 opts to go for level 3 Unholy Aura, as it doesn't make sense to use Raise Dead when you already have an army of Necromancers behind you. One of the reasons why the Death Knight's ultimate ability just does not work. It doesn't even synergize with some of Undead's own strategies when you're trying to, well, when you are trying to figure out a very strong balance. All right, where did that Scroll of Town Portal head off to? Where did they go? What? Huh? Where did they go? All right. Okay, I guess they just decided to teleport right inside their own base. Difficult to keep track. Still, gold is being transferred from Godfather to Lubber, as we can clearly see. And, well, we're going to see these buildings getting taken out here. I think it is just a matter of time now. Archmage, Mountain King, and Paladin. Yes, three very powerful heroes working together can, in fact, do a large amount of damage. But, well, it cannot win the game outright. Holy Light finishing off that one Banshee there as the units are now making their way over. Blizzard now going to be coming across here, destroying many of these Acolytes. There they go. Carry on Swarm. Down goes the Archmage. And any hopes of a comeback as, well, Atheist and AJK give the GG. A beautiful marathon session between the two. Ultimately, the scores actually very similar between the two. Only, what is that, 1,000 difference between Godfather and I believe the human player there, and then only, what is that, a 3,000 point difference between Lubber and how much long. So yeah, very, very close scores there. Experience being a main difference, as we see, well, human getting the most experience but unable to do very much. Dreadlord did in fact get to level 9 though. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this game.